Hey everybody, welcome, it's Captain Adonis, and we are playing Kerbal Space Program Ironman from the Mahula family. This is a career mode game. I've been streaming for quite a bit now. I found something that I think might help a lot of people. So if you're playing career mode and you're struggling, okay, there's a lot to that. There's a lot to do. You want to just like immediately rush up and get into space and all that. What I'm telling you is there's an easy way to make money and get science. So if you come into your mission control, that's where you get your missions, and you pick up any ferry mission. Now, you can't get ferry missions. These are like ferrying people up into space, so tourists. It doesn't make any difference whether it's, ferry 3, ferry 5, ferry 2. Just pick one up. Do not go into orbit. Don't go into the orbit mode yet. Go ahead and pick up the orbit mission, but don't do it. Because all that they require is a suborbital flight, which means you got to get above 70,000 meters, okay? You can do this all day long. The other missions, they suck. I'm telling you. They can be fun if that's what you want to do, is just kind of, play around with them. Fine. Go ahead and do them. But if you want to make some serious money and you want to make some serious science, the only way to do it, in my opinion, is to ferry tourists. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. So I basically got rid of every mission that there was there except the ferry missions, and I accepted them. And I have a ton of them. Okay. Now, if you've been following my series, you know have been unlocking science. And I got to a point here, I guess it was this tier, where 550. That was the most science I could do. I couldn't get any more science without going into the orbit. But once you do the orbit, you can't make any money, because each one of those ferry missions are like 40 grand a piece. Between 20 and 40 grand per person. Okay? That's huge. Absolutely huge. So what I've done is, once I got built up enough where I had the advanced rocketry and I could do, my favorite one is the mainstay engine, which is here, but that required, this tier requires 160 science. So to get to the mainstay engine and unlock the really good Rockomax fuel, it's the larger of the rockets. They're more stable. You got more fuel. I mean, this particular engine, the mainsail engine, is huge. I kept calling it mainstay, but it's mainsail. It's huge. It's got 1,300 thrust. In atmosphere, and in vacuum is 1,500. The only one better is this one here. That one's got 3,700 in atmosphere and 4,000 in vacuum. But it's not something you really need to get. Plus, that's 550 to unlock it. So once I got to a certain spot, I couldn't gain any more science. I did everything I could to unlock the electronics so I could get this double C seismic accelerometer, because that gives you science. And I went back around to all the biomes in Kerbal. Each one of these areas is its own biome. So you can get science from each one. And this crawlway too. You can never forget the crawlway. The runway, the space plane hangar, all this stuff is a separate biome, and you can get science from each one of them. Now, there's thermometer, there's barometric pressure, and then there's an atmospheric pressure. Now you can go to the mountains and get, science from there. The green is the grasslands. The hilly green is highlands, or usually highlands are right before the mountains. You can go to the shores. I mean, there's lots of little biomes running around, but it's constantly going to them and collecting the science, and then that's all the science you're going to get. Once you've collected from there, you're done. So you got goo containers, So you got all this science you can get. But what I have done is I had to upgrade the administration building so I could get both of these. I probably didn't need to, but the administration building allows you to have these programs. What's up, Zan?
Said, hi.
So the administration building allows you to have these missions running. And what I did is I took this mission. I upgraded the building one time, because if you don't, you can only go up to 20%, I think. You can only invest 20% of your funds. So what I've done is at the level I've got, where I've got the Rockomax engines and I can get up to space really easy, I doubled this one, bought the upgrade, and it takes you to 60% of your funds from income. You can convert for 11,000 funds, you can convert that to one science, which is really cool because I make a ton of money taking 12 tourists up at a time. So I have a rocket here that I built. It's pretty straightforward. It's nothing extravagant. Let me load it up. It's a 12-passenger rocket. Now you have to unlock this particular hitchhiker storage container, which allows you to have 4 people in. Okay, so I've got 3 of them stacked up. I put some landing struts on here in case I don't splash down over water. And then it requires a lot of chutes to slow it down enough where you're not going to wreck it when it comes back down. And then I have 2 fuel tanks, 2 Rockomax 3200s. That's it. And then the mainsail engine. Now I have nothing else there. I have a decoupler, but that's just because once I get into space, I don't need any more thrust, because I'm just going to go straight up, straight back down, because the contracts are such that all you have to do is go into suborbit. All right. So I also calculated out how much fuel I needed to take this particular ship all the way up into suborbit, not too far. Takes me up to like 86,000 meters, which is above 70, which is suborbit, but I can just run it out of fuel. So I don't need to take 1,440 liters or whatever of fuel it is. Okay, so I calculated out by launching a few missions and figuring out how much I needed to get into suborbit, and then stopping it, looking and see how much fuel I spent, subtracted it from the total. So there we go. So what I do is I just get a pilot, and we're going to use, because we're playing Ironman, I have all the names of the people who are in the Mahula family. Timmy Wan and Fragalot. Unfortunately, sorry Zan, I killed you again. We've got Canuck as a pilot. Timmy Wan's been taking up quite a few of them, so I'm going to have Canuck take this one up. And then we're just going to load this thing with 12 tourists. Now, each tourist, like I said, I'll show you the mission. I'll show you what it says for the missions real quick on how much you can make on one or 3 tourists. Okay, so here's one where you ferry 2 tourists. So this one's not that great. This one's 7,800, and when you complete it, it's 2,600. So you got 9,000, 10,000, 400. Just to get those 2 up, okay? Here's 4 of them, okay? 9 and 3. Here's 11 and 3, almost 4. So as you see, you start ferrying more people up, and the stars have a lot to do with the price. Here's one that's 11,000 and 4,000. Here's one that's same thing, 11,000 and 4,000. So by taking those 3 people up, you're going to make, 11 and 4, it's 4. So 15. So there's 45,000 Kerbal Space Bucks you're going to get for just taking 3 guys. Now you take 12 of them, figure you're doing an average of, 10 to 15, and you're taking 12, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, guys. And you convert that 60% of it over to science, and what I come back with is I have $3.18 million right now and 414 science. If I take this ship up right now and go up, and I'm going to show you how simple it is. It is so easy to do. It's almost brainless. I've been doing it while I watch TV, just to gain money and so on. So 3.18, we're going to see what we get coming back with 12 tourists. All right, I do have a mech jeb on it. It's at the very top of the ship here, so I've got these. Mech jeb is the only add-on that I use. Whoa, 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 whoa! I forgot to turn on my SAS. All right, well, because I wasn't paying attention, we're just going to go back to launch. I should probably put on. All right. Now, if I put on SAS, the pilot will keep it steady. That's why it started to fall over. But mech jeb's the only one I use, besides the science one, or the engineering one, the flight engineer. And I had to go to their website to get that because the one that was on Twitch wasn't updated properly, so it wasn't working all the time. But now I got the new one and it's working. That's what this is. I could just use that instead of the mech jeb, but I like the mech jebs because you can move these around. They're not in one particular spot. But I really like this one. It shows the apoapsis. That's the max height that you're going to reach. So as you're going up, as soon as you hit 70,000, you can shut your engines off. Okay. Well, because I did the fuel and I limited the fuel, it's just going to be. It's going to go up to about 87 and come right back down. Now, all I'm doing is going up and back down, but I'm going to angle to the east a little bit after I get up to about 100 meters per second. I'll just start slightly angling, so that way I splash down in the water and I don't have to use my landing struts.
Bill Beto said,
"What's up, Bill Beto?
I have any fatalities?"
Yeah, we killed Zan again. So after the airplane thing where I was missing an engine, I put it up for a vote and everybody said, yeah, we should bring Zan back.
Bill Beto said, alas, poor Zan.
Yeah. So we brought Zan back and I killed him on the airplane again. Or was it the airplane? I don't remember now. Let me think about that. I don't remember how we killed him. I think it was on an airplane. So I flew up to the North Pole and tried to get more science. And that's what this whole episode right here is about, is how I'm making science now so easy, and still making money at the same time. So let's bring up, 3.14, we have 414 science. So we should come back with about 460 science, and I'm not quite sure how much money for this mission. So we're just going to go ahead and time warp here. You could time warp right from the beginning because it's going to go up to 86,102 or 86,100. You know, it's drifting just a little bit down. There, now we're in space. So it stopped off. So we're going to hit that apoapsis and then we're going to start coming back down. And then I'm going to parachute and I'll land in the water and I'll make a bunch of money. And I just do this over and over and over again. But with the admin building contract, I'm able to turn money into science, which is very cool. But I still make enough that I make money and I make science. So I'm not losing money because this rocket's like 40 grand. Now you have to get to this point, but once you do, this is how simple it is to make money and make science. Now that's the only time I've ever done the admin building. I haven't touched it the entire way. Now I gotta wait till I get below 400 speed, and then my parachutes go. Now I'm still going really, really fast. Okay, chutes will fully open, and I'll splash down in the water, and everything will be fine. I'll recover it, and then we'll see how much money we made. So 3.17 and 418 science. I mean, that's, if you're looking to make science, once you've run out of going to all your biomes and doing your pressure and your temperature and your seismometer, once you've done all that, you're out of science. You can't do anything until you move on, which is like orbiting Kerbal, until you do the orbit missions. Now, I'm telling you, they're not easy to do because getting your orbit stable and getting up there with the right rocket fuel and the right amount of power is not easy. It's not difficult, but it's not easy. This is the quickest way I've found to almost unlock the entire tree, as long as you're willing to take passengers up into space. So there we go. We're going to land here. Perfect. We'll recover the vessel. Now watch, 3.17 million, 418 science. Okay. Here we go. We recover the vessel, and it's going to turn money into science with that particular mission that I got going at the admin building. And there we go. We gained. What did it do here? Oh yeah, look. So we are at 417. We're at 463. I don't know why I didn't say I earned. Oh, because I didn't actually earn science. I turned money into science. So right there, I went from 418 to 463. So that's like 50 science. All right. And then I got 97% of my money back. I got almost 19 grand back. But now I'm at 3.3 million. What was I at before? 3.2. So I made 100,000. So I'm still making money by doing this. Plus I'm making 50 science. So you start doing 50 science and it's like, oh my God, you can start to unlock some stuff. What I want to do is unlock the advanced motors. I already got the regular one, which gives me the nice wheels. But then I looked here and I went, oh, look at that. Those wheels, they go 58 meters per second. And these ones only went 34. So I could make a really cool looking Jeep with that, right? Plus it gives you a different Robomax wheel. But I was like, oh man, then I could unlock the science, And this column, is a 550 column. So it's
Gilberto said, yeah, wouldn't crash and kill anyone with those wheels.
Right? And you make the vehicle wide enough and you're not going to tip over. So, but this gives you the next science one right here. That's the Gravimax. The problem with the Gravimax is it's only a science experiment that you can do on one planet one time. You get the gravity of the planet. That's it. That's the only science experiment that you can do. So to gain more science to get to the end of this, you got to figure out a way of doing it to where you can make even more science. Well, that particular mission why didn't it flip over? In the admin building, and that's this one right here, is the one that's doing it. Now, I upgraded it because it would only go to a max of 20, like I said, and I wanted to take it to 60% of my income. So 60% of my income from ferrying tourists is going to give me that 50 science. So that's a lot of Kerbal bucks. But I don't really need Kerbal bucks right now because I've got everything where I want it. Now, I did this one for the reputation because you can get 1 science for every 2 reputation. But I'm not gaining reputation doing the same thing over and over. Reputation is only gained as you do stuff that's new. Okay? So now that I've ferried those guys, all of a sudden I've got some more missions. So I will accept all the ferry missions. Really? Accept it? Okay. Accept that one. And accept that one. So I've got even more ferry missions to do. Now it's like, oh, now they want me to test the skipper liquid fuel for what? 16,000? Big deal. Who cares? Delete. Look! Another tourist mission. Yay! And that's only 8,000, 9,000. Okay. But that's 2 of them. So, there's 20 grand right there. But that's with just 2 tourists. You start taking up 12, it all adds up. So all my missions except for 2, which is the Kerbal, orbit Kerbin, and then this observation, because I took that one because it was close. It's nearby. Now, in order to find these, it's like, okay, so how do you find these areas? I got to find Alpha Site in the CPGZ area. Well, I don't know where that area is at. The only way to find out is to go to your tracking station. I showed Zan this earlier. So there is the areas, Okay, and we are actually in. There's our Kerbal Space Station, so it's really close to us, and that's area CP GZ Alpha Beta Gamma. So what I want to do is take my wheeled vehicle, what I'm going to make, and drive to those, and then do that science or do that mission, and I'll get money for it. It's not a big priority because I'm making really good money doing the ferries right now. Plus, the ferries are pretty fun. So I got all the missions I could. So we just come back in. I haven't tried a 16 rocket. Now I think what I should do, because I should shut off my I should shut off that being able to redo the launch. Use one of these stabilizers, and then your ship won't tip over. I'm going to do that, and then I'll go in and shut it off. But all right, so Canuck piloted that one. Let's take frag this time. I like to rotate my pilots. We'll take frag and just load it up with tourists. So there's 12 tourists. Now it varies on how much money you get each time, because there might be a mission that says ferry 5 tourists, and I only took 4 of the 5 up.
Good luck, frag.
And so on the next one, I get the last guy to complete that series of missions. So don't stress it if you don't make the exact same amount of money each time. Once you decide, okay, I'm tired of doing the tourist thing, because I got a lot of tourists there that are waiting to be ferried up. You could make a bigger ship with even more tourist spots and take them all up at once. Yeah, you could do that. Why not? I just like doing it this way because it's straightforward, simple, and I've made this rocket to where it's almost infallible. Almost. So this should load with that stabilizer on there. Yep, there we go. And the stabilizer, see, I forgot to put the stabilizer down here. So I need to change that. So let's move the stabilizer. So it drops the stabilizer and then launches the rocket. You don't want it up here because you'll launch the rocket and then, oh shit, it's just a disaster. Gotta watch your staging. So I need to change that on the next one. Not a problem. Let's turn SAS on. Let's bring up the
Mahula
throttle.
Said,
and there's Mahula.
You gonna try multiplayer with Zan?
Yeah, and I know Bob wants to do multiplayer too, I'm sure. I just need to look more into it, and I think you have to do your own server. So it's up to Zan. My computer, as everybody knows, would not be fast enough to support a server. So you got to have the internet speed and the server.
Said, anytime.
Yep. So we probably have to look into that, Zan. Maybe after this, you and I will get together and see what it's going to take to make it multiplayer. There are a few people that are playing the multiplayer. I don't know what the advantages and disadvantages are, but we can figure it out. So with the staging like that, you saw it disconnected and then lit off the engines. So it was a perfect launch. All right, we got some speed here. Let's go ahead and tilt out over the water. There we go. That's about all we need. The further away you get from your base, the less money you get back from all your materials that come back. So now, like I said, I limited the engine fuel. So when I run out of fuel, I should be hitting orbit. And what was it, about 87, I think? 84, okay. And all you got to do is get above 70. So, simple, easy, it's mindless. I can turn around and I can hit, at some point, hit time warp and just go up, back down. I can be watching TV, just not too much, because I got to remember to, deploy my chutes. So we're almost there. So I stopped gathering science, and now I'm making science with money. that's the big lesson of this particular episode is once you get to that point, you can start. Now, you could probably do it at an earlier point, you know. It wouldn't be as drastic. Like, you know, you could make like 10,000 Kerbal bucks and, you know, make 20 science, which would be enough. You know, you do quite a few of these missions and you just repeat them over and over and over and over again. And eventually it's all going to build up. I like the 50 science. So I wanted to wait till I got to that point. So each mission that I do, that I take 12 tours up, I make... sorry, I got to pay attention here. Parachutes. I make 50 science and, you know, 100, 200,000 Kerbal bucks. So I've covered my expenses. I make a little money. I make science so I can unlock bigger and better things. So when I start to do, like the first time I want to orbit Kerbin, I have got the best equipment in order to do that with. The best parts for my ship. Makes it a lot easier than struggling. And granted, that's part of the game, is to struggle along. And, you know, I don't have the really nice part that would get me into orbit easier. But I'm one of those guys that thinks outside the box, and it's like, yeah, well, if I'm going to make it easier, I'm going to make it easier. So just put in the work, then you can make it easy. So, yeah. So this is what I do on off-camera time. I just send up a few missions. I gather some more science. I spend the science. Gather some more science. Spend the science. Get to the point where I want it to be, so I can start doing these missions. Going to the moon, going to, you know, Duna, putting satellites into space, you know, all the fun stuff that everybody does. You can do that once you've got all the science unlocked. Because that's part of there you go. There's 509 now. So I'm one mission away from getting that 550 mark to unlock the better wheels. So the better wheels are right here. Like I said, those, you know, will get you 58 meters per second. So you can drive over to those places on the ground and get that stuff, you know, and get those missions done. But that's just money. I make more money ferrying tourists than I would doing this ground thing. But it's fun to do the ground thing, right? You can go back and unlock some other stuff. There's a really cool engine up here, this Mammoth engine. I think that's going to be awesome because that's almost like double what the mainsail is. You know, the mainsail's 1,300 thrust, and this is 3,700. I mean, that's just going to, like, awesome power, right? You can unlock the other sciences. Where is it? There's ion propulsion. That's once you get up into space, you know, you can use ion propulsion. That's something that's brand new to what we're doing in real life right now. That's pretty cool. You know, there's all sorts of stuff that you can. There's remote guidance. You know, here's what I was looking at: experimental science. So, you know, I don't know what these does. That's ore. So that's a large holding tank for ore. And this is scans splashdown. I'm guessing it gives you science, this narrowband scanner. Ideal for surveying potential landing sites. Okay. And it scans ore resources from a max altitude of, what is that? 500,000. So you'd have to be around another planet within 500,000 meters to be able to scan the planet. So I don't know if it gives you science, you know, like as in to unlock, but I found a way to make science easy and unlock the stuff that you want to unlock, so you can continue ahead. I mean, there's some stuff here. This one here, this which one is it? This one. Oh, where is it? Yeah, the actuators. So this one's a grappling hook, as the way I understand it. Haven't unlocked it, haven't tried it, but it's a grappling node, so you can capture something. I guess. I don't know. That would be kind of cool. Be able to shoot a grappling hook out and capture something in space. All right, looks like I've got some debris here. So we'll just pick that up. All right, back to here. Oh, look, more ferry missions. All right, let's pick up the rest of the ferry missions. There's 4. There's another 5. Oh, man, no more missions because they're all ferry missions except 2. So lots more people to ferry up. Now let's just go back in, pick another pilot. Now, granted, my pilots are not making any experience. So they're not gaining experience. So Frag took that one up. Who's the next one? I guess, no, they only got 3 pilots, so I guess Timmy's back up. He's next in line. We're not going to send Mom up. She's a scientist. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one more scientist, and what I found is there's this thing where you can put up a space station, and there's this science lab, and as long as you put science in it, you have to collect the science and then take it to the lab, give it to the scientists who are in orbit, and then they will process it. But it takes years to process the science to gain more science, but you gain a lot of science. I think a level 1 scientist is like 5 times what you'd normally get out of that science. You know, so if you had, 25, a thing for 25 science, and you get 5 times the science, you're going to get 125 science out of that 25 science. But it may take 4 Kerbal years for that to happen. Which, yeah, okay, that's, it's doable. I mean, if you need more science. But I found the way. I have the secret to gaining science. Is just to get that one particular mission at the admin center. Now, like I said, I upgraded the admin center so I could go to 60% because the base is only 20%.
Mahula Bro Sync said, but having a station sounds cool, just having.
Yeah, I definitely want to do a space station. I want to do some satellites. There's a satellite that you can do. It's got an infrared telescope on it. Gives you a little science, but I want to put up the space station and then send those out and take the science from that and put it in the space station and let the scientists work on it. So what I'll do is I'll create one more scientist because the science lab takes 2 scientists. I'll create one more scientist, and those will be the people that'll be in the space station, and they'll just be in space orbiting forever, But I've got to learn how to dock to the science station. I got to learn how to do all that stuff. I'm only playing and doing stuff that I know how to do right now. When I have been playing with how to orbit. That's why I built this particular rocket, because this rocket, if you get rid of the crew cabins and put in my stage 2, I can get into orbit piece of cake with this rocket. It's big enough and it gets you there with enough fuel to do whatever you need to do. So this is my going to orbit rocket. But once you go to orbit and you complete that I've done in orbit, you no longer get missions to go into suborbital flight. And suborbital flight is the easiest. Oh, shit. I forgot to change that. Yeah, okay. We'll see if we got enough thrust to get us there into orbit. We should. I wasn't burning fuel for that long. But as you can see, all you had to do is go to it, right click, and then you could, hit the button to release the clamps. Oh, man. That was almost a mistake. Nope, I don't have enough. Don't have enough fuel. I wasted too much fuel to get there. So I'm not going to make orbit. So this mission is scrubbed. But in the true fashion of Ironman, I will leave it. I won't revert. Not like the other one where it tipped over because I wasn't paying attention. So this will only get us up to about 59,000 feet, and we'll come right back down. And it won't complete the missions, so I'll just have to do it again, but I'll recover the craft, and then change that and save it. So you can't forget about your staging, folks. That's the moral of that lesson. And even though I did it fairly quickly, it still wasn't enough. I burned too much fuel to actually get us up into space. So failed missions here. That's why none of them look happy. Because they really didn't make it to space. Alright, let's watch the staging come back down into the thinner atmosphere. Or come out of the thinner atmosphere is what I meant, into the thicker atmosphere.
Bill Beto
We'll slow
said
down.
they'll be wanting a refund.
Yeah, well, they just got a second ride for free. It's like the roller coaster went up but didn't quite make it to the top. So, we'll just give them another ride for free. It sucks, but that's the way it goes. You know. So I'll pass out some pretzels. I've still got a few pretzels left over from my wife's flight to Texas. She got some, what are these? Snyder's mini pretzels. They're pretty good. Alright. Slow back down. I'm going to tell you right now, the thing about the time warp, you don't want to do anything under time warp except travel.
By the way, the Blood Bowl round has been confirmed.
Oh! Awesome. I thought Bill Beto said there was one more person to play. So cool, I can stream that. Probably do that tomorrow. Stream my game. I don't even know who I'm playing. Alright. Let's go back in here. All we need to do is change the staging. Alright, let's move this down to the bottom. There we go. Save it. Now I won't make that mistake again. Alright, we still got Turish.
Mahula Bro Sync
Yep.
said, "Yeah, Astro Girl lost."
Okay. I need to watch Bill Beto's game. You know, he had to do it at like 3 o'clock in the morning our time.
Mahula Bro Sync said, "You're play Bill Beto."
Oh, I'm playing Bill Beto. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to set up a time, Bill, that we can get together. I mean, if you want to do it tomorrow, I'm good with that if you got time. Up to you.
Bill Beto said, "Probably not at 3 a.m. for you then, smiley face."
Yeah, right? Let's not schedule it for 3 a.m. I'd prefer not. Although I'd do it if that's what it came to. I wouldn't have a problem with it. I would just go to bed early and then wake up and play. And then, of course, I'd be sleepy, and you'd have the advantage. So, no, let's not do that. All right, there we go. So let's go ahead and... Anyway, what I was saying about the time warp is you got to really be careful with the time warp. You don't want to do, like, landing or anything like that. It doesn't... The game, the way it works with the time warp, is it doesn't do all the parameters. That it doesn't calculate everything while you're in time warp. So you only really want to time warp
said, After your stream, I'll finally hit the shower and think about doing mine today.
You playing AI? The cheating AI bastards? I'm assuming you are because you didn't have it set up with anybody. So I'm kind of curious, how is Astro Girl playing? You can tell me later if you want to. It's up to you. But hopefully that won't be an issue. All right, so like I said before, the big thing you want to watch here is once you get out of orbit, it'll go to surface, and once you get below 400 meters per second, you can actually, about 400 meters per second, the chutes will come on to where you can deploy them, and it's around 6,000 feet. There you go. And this will make us quite a bit of money. Yeah, let's see, how long do I have on this stream? Well, I got 46 minutes. All right, so let's do this. Instead of you watching me do this over and over and over again, let's go ahead and make a car with my new wheels. This will give me enough for the better wheels. So let's go ahead and make a new car.
Mahula Bro
I really came out quite a ways from
those shoots take a while.
Yeah, I dropped because I had these cargo containers for the people. They're very, very fragile. And even coming down at 7 meters a second, it would blow up the bottom cargo thing when it landed at 7 meters a second. So I had to really drop it down. So by putting 6 parachutes on, I dropped down to 5, and then I put landing struts on. No, this next one that I get will give me, the next science will give me the stronger landing struts too. So I might be able to cut down the number of chutes. But that's all, playing with it, right? So the first couple of times I killed people because the bottom would fall out. Recover.
I mean, it takes a while to open completely.
Oh, well, that's the way I've got it set up. So that's in the setting. I can show you that real quick. So I figured out the whole pressure and altitude thing with the chute setting. All right, there's 550. So let's go ahead and get the better wheels. All right, so let's go to wheels. We'll get these really nice ruggedized vehicle wheel. We'll go ahead and buy that science. Now I'm down to 5. I want to go ahead and get my missions. Ferry of VIP, and these rescue missions. I think those would be kind of fun, and they make pretty good money, but I got to learn how to dock.
Okay.
So for right now, I get rid of them, and then get rid of it, and then I get more ferry missions. All right. There, I'm full on ferry missions again. All right. So what I found, Mahula, is if you take up a barometric pressure gauge as you're flying and toggle the display on it, it'll tell you at what points the atmosphere is thin enough. So when you look at your chute, you've got minimum pressure and altitude. So I've got my altitude set for 1200. That's when the chute fully opens. The altitude you're setting is when it fully opens. You can go from 1200 to 5, well, you can drop it down to absolutely nothing, 50 feet. That the parachutes would fully open at 50 feet. That's not a good thing. And that's 50 feet sea level. So if you're coming down and all of a sudden you find out you're coming down in the mountains, you may have to deploy it on your own faster. So this is sea level. So I set it for 1600 because of this mission. I know I'm not, or no, what did I have it set at? 1200? I think I had it set at 1200. I just don't want to drift down forever. 1200. Okay. No, it was 1600, but that's all right. The pressure is the altitude pressure. So by shooting the rocket up and watching the pressure gauge, I noticed that the altitude at about 5,000 feet was 20 decibars, or whatever they call it, 20 bars. So that's 0.2 for pressure. So that's when the chutes will come out. Now, they won't fully deploy until it hits the altitude, but they'll come out and they'll help slow the rocket down even further. This is really important when you start going to other planets with different atmospheres. So in Kerbin, 0.2 is plenty because it'll go off about 6,000 feet and it'll deploy but not fully open, and then you set the fully open altitude depending on, you know, where you think you're going to land at. I've been landing in the water and in Kerbin, sometimes, you know, further out in the grasslands, but the grasslands are a difference in altitude between sea level and there of like 200-300 feet, so it shouldn't make a difference. So let's back out and let's go build us a car, and we'll go. We got that one mission. Let's just review it real quick. We got this one mission to conduct observational surveys of Kerbin. So I'd have to do an EVA report at each one of these sites. So there's 4 sites. I do an EVA report. Now this will show Zan. He had a couple of these missions on his docket and was wondering, you know, where those are at. The only way to find them is to go to your tracking station and then, you know, scroll through the planet and see where they're at on the planet. And they just happen to be right next to the Kerbal Space Center. So there's the locations. Problem is, you can't zoom in close enough to know exactly where. So let's go in and we're going to make a brand new rig. I've got a few new pieces that I wanted to try out. So there's this rover mate. Let's see, what was this? This was, okay, remote pilot assisted. So I wouldn't have to have a pilot to do this. So I wouldn't have to risk anybody's life. So this is like a probe. I could do the lander can. This one allows me to have one crew. Unfortunately, it happens to be huge, so I don't want to use it. These are for the these lander cans are for the Rocco Max. I did unlock the 3-passenger command pod. That's the same size as the other one, which is actually really cool. I can put 3 people in it, but I don't need it for this mission. There's the lander can. The lander can is also... oh no, you can have 1 pilot. So we could do that, but I think I want to do this because it sits flat. All right, we're gonna put a guy on it though. So we're going to, let's see, we need structural. So I'm gonna put a couple of these out there. I think I'm gonna do one out front. Oh, I should just do that. Let's do this. Oh no, that's one out front, one out back, and then set those. Zan's gonna shoot me. He's like, that's not the way to design a vehicle. Well, that's all right. Let's put some wheels on it. Let's put our nice ruggerized vehicle wheels. All right. So we'll do there and there. I have a seat. Where is that? Is that under here? There it is. I have a command seat. So we're going to put a command seat on here. There we go. That way I can have a pilot. Ooh, little lopsided there. All right, well, we'll put the command seat there. Hopefully that's facing forward. I think it is. So this is how you make a rover a moon buggy rover. We need some power. We need some batteries. So I got this brand new 400 watt or 400 amp battery. Let's put 2 of them on there.
Zanfeng MR said,
Let's put them here.
Just launched 3 pods with 2 passengers and 1 pilot. Lol, it worked.
Yeah, nice. And that'll bring in some good money, Zan. Now, once you get to the point where you think you start needing to make science, then go to the center there and take that one mission. Now, I like the 3x2. We're just going to do 1. I think 1's good enough. And it just rotates just wrong. There we go. All right, now I like to start with this extended. So there's our solar panel. I could probably do the one like one of these big ones. That's a big, huge panel, but this just looks cooler. It rotates with the sun wherever the sun's at, so that's kind of cool. Now I don't know if that's enough power to charge those batteries, but I'm sure it's pretty close. Now all I got to do is an EVA, but I'm not sure whether I can get back on my ship after I jump off. And because there's gravity, you don't jump very far. Where the heck is that? I have some utility. There we go. I have some grab bars here. So we're going to go ahead.
MR said,
I don't know how
yeah, but you need a ladder.
Yeah. I got a ladder. I just put a ladder down there. So we'll put a ladder there. That'll let him climb up. Hopefully that's enough to get him up into the seat.
MR said, that will work.
Yeah. All right, so let's see. I've got power. I've got replenished power. Got the wheels on. It should be wide enough that it's not going to tip over. So now we need a name. Give me a name, guys. So this is our first Jeep. Should we name it after somebody we lost? The Bob Jeep. Who else did we lose? We lost Mahula.
Zanfeng MR said, SSBOS.
SSBOS? Okay, what are you trying to say there? SSBOS. SS POS? Piece of shit. Okay. Yeah, I get it, Zan. It doesn't look nice. I don't care. It works. All right.
Zanfeng MR said, lol.
I'm thinking if I call it the Bob Jeep, then
Mahula Bro Singh
Bob
said, piece of S.
The Bob Jeep. Bob will get mad because he really likes Jeeps. So let's go ahead and save it, and let's see. Crew. Okay, I have to actually give it a crew. Should we have Mom drive out there? I mean, it doesn't really make any difference. We'll have Frag drive it out there. All right. So let's have Frag drive it. See how this works. See, and with the mod I've got, it tells you down below there how much power it had. But I don't think it stays because I didn't put the mech gem on it, which is fine. Just right click, bring this down.
Said, Tonga Bob.
So each one is 400,
Mahula
I believe.
Said, Tonka.
Yeah, because I have 920. So this says each battery. All right, so let's start off with him. Let's remove helmet. Where's remove helmet? There we go. Because he doesn't need his helmet to drive around. Yeehaw, Bob. Or no, who's driving? Oh, okay. So you can flip this. It's not wide enough. I lost a battery and a way to charge it. Okay, well, that tells you right there. You may be able to go fast.
Said, might should kept that helmet on.
Yeah, right?
Gilberto said, wow.
Yeah, so I know there's limitations that you can put on this stuff. Like you could limit the turning,
Mahula Bro Sync said,
the brakes,
don't you
traction
need
control.
all that science instruments?
No, because I'm not doing science for this mission. This mission was just to go there and do an EVA report. So let's go ahead and recover this. We'll get it back to normal, and I'll just drive a little slower. See, this is why I don't like doing these missions, because for the amount of work that you have to do this mission, it's not worth the money.
Can't you tell it not to turn the back wheels?
Yes. You think that'd help? Keeping the back wheels straight and just have the front wheels turn? I don't know. Let's try. Let's see. Back wheels. Motor direction, steering direction. I think if I turn that off, then the motor direction is like forward, reverse. Steering direction, those won't turn. All right. So let's make sure. Whoop, we got a pilot. Yep. Okay. All right. Let's try this one.
Mahula Bro Sync said, yes, you turn to sharp for that speed.
Yeah. So maybe Zan's right. You turn off the back ones and then you won't flip, but we'll find out. There we go. All right. Whoa. The back ones are still turning. Oh, back ones are turning the same direction. All right, so that's not what we want. Shut that off. Now I got to do each one individually. Steering direction. Turn that back on normal.
Mahula Bro Sync said, Ricky Bobby.
There it is. So I gotta turn the steering off. Leave steering direction. Okay, so that one's set. That one's set. So it does. All right. That should work there. That doesn't mean it's not going to flip. Yeah. When you're going really fast. Now, here's the thing. I got to bring up the map. Because when you bring up the toggle the map, you can zoom in closer. Okay? All right. So it looks like it's north. Or wait. Which way is north? Yeah. That's north because that's the North Pole up there. So north. Looks like it's northwest a little bit, right as you start into the grasslands. So let's go back to our thing. So we want to go this direction. This is direction 229 or 2 because north. All right, how fast am I going? 39. So that really helped, Zan. I can turn now. Whoa. Yeah, going up on two wheels a little bit. So I think I'm going to head about this direction. That's 270. That should be west. 315. Yeah, we'll go kind of in this direction. It definitely goes a lot faster. .43 meters per second. We're just zooming along. Look at that face. Look at that frag face. All right. Let's go back to the map, see if we're heading in that general direction. Yeah, we're going to kind of miss it a little bit, so I'm going to go back more towards this way. Because north is right here. So probably 315. Now what you got to do is you got to bring up the actual mission. All right, so there's the EVA reports. So you got to watch this, and it'll tell you that you're getting close to the particular spot. But at least it goes up the hill. Man, with the other wheels I had, you couldn't even go up this hill. it would stall out. Oh, you're entering alpha. All right, so let's stop. Urge. Did you see it come up? It said entering alpha. All right, so I got to do an EVA report. So I have to EVA. How do I EVA? How do I get out of the seat? Oh, I can just do the EVA. Oh, that's cool. All right, so we're just going to pin that. We're just going to do EVA report. There we go. We'll save it. That completed the first one, alpha site. All right, so let's look at these. So I need to go almost northeast to get to the other sites. All right, so let's undo the brakes. Oh, undo the brakes. There we go. And we'll head off this direction. That's heading north. So realistically, it should be down this direction if it was more northeast. Right? I guess. Got to watch for that message to pop up again. Nice thing is now that I have the EVA report ready to go, I can just hit it as we drive through it now. That's going to take me down to the water. I don't think it's down in the water. So let's bring up the map, see where we're at. Okay, so it's kind of behind us. So we definitely want to turn around. Whoa! Whoa! Oh! All right. Nice job. All right. So, brake. Now remember, this is controlled. So what I need to do now, I don't have a seat, though. Oh, I do. I still have a seat. I just lost my batteries and everything else. My Kerbal's still over there. So what you got to do here is you got to go to the tracking station. There's another way to switch. There's a button that you can switch between them. I don't remember what it is. It might be like Z. But I can go to frag and then go to fly frag. And then I'll be in control of frag. All right. Now, frag can run over there and get back in. Oh, don't tell me I can't reset my EVA reports. Oh, that's going to suck. That means I got to come back to each one separately. If that's the case, and I can't do more than one EVA report, I am screwed on this. All right, frag. I always get too close. Oh, I didn't read what it said. All right. All right, climbed on. Space, let's go. Board. There we go. There we go. All right, so now he's in. Let's put him over here. Yeah, see, I think I have to... Oh, man, that's going to suck. That means each one of these I got to come... Unless I'm the scientist, because the scientist... Well, maybe. Maybe the scientist can redo the EVA report. All right, let's look at where we're at. We're really close to 1. We're really close to... What is this? Beta. So... Activate navigation. Ooh, there's something. All right, so what's it do? Oh, it gives me a marker. Okay, look at that. So there's a simple way to do it, guys. So activate the marker and then just drive to it. Now, we'll see. I don't have a lot of battery because I only got my 50. I don't have a way of charging it. So this will tell you the direction you need to go to get there. There we go. All right, now we're in beta. So can I do an EVA report? Nope. See, I'm going to overwrite it, which means I wouldn't do alpha. All right, so I'm not going to do any more of this. I did complete the one mission, right? Yeah, I completed the one. I'm gonna have to drive over here with a scientist, so I'll have to bring Mom over here and have her collect the other 3, because I think she can reset the EVA report, and then it's all good. So for right now, let's go ahead and recover. I think anyway, I'm at my pretty close to my 1 hour mark for this stream, and I really appreciate you guys. Yeah, I'm at my 1 hour mark, so I really appreciate you guys hopping in and giving me some support here. Oh, what do we got here? More debris. All right, but that's gonna suck. I mean, it did give me some science, I guess. But let's go ahead and
Bill Beto
collect
said,
that.
"Been fun. Love the Bob Jeep."
Yeah. Too bad Bob wasn't around to experience it. I'm sure he'd want me to flare it out a little bit. But thanks everybody for coming. Please hit that like and subscribe button. I'm on Twitch. I upload these to YouTube, so you can find them there too. If you want to rewatch them, that's probably the best spot. I'm trying to get to affiliate, so I need 50 subscribers. Please, if you know anybody, have them come over here and just subscribe to me. Just until I hit 50 so I can get affiliated. But yeah, that's been Kerbal Space Program. And you can always leave me a message. All my links are in the description, my email address, everything. If you want to see something, go to my comments on YouTube, throw it up there. I do watch it constantly. So give me some likes and some love. And as always, this is Captain Adonis. And I am out.